All right, well, thank you all for coming today. So in 2007, the movie The Bucket List came out. And in this movie, there are two men who have both been diagnosed with cancer. This is Edward, and this is Carter. And in the movie, they find out that Carter actually ends up having terminal cancer. So he has 6 months, he finds out he has 6 months left to live in his life. And he had created this thing he termed a bucket list that was off of all the things he wanted to do before he kicked the bucket. And when he found out he only had 6 months to live, he threw the list away. But his friend Edward, because they had grown to become friends, found the bucket list and decided to help Carter fulfill his dreams that he had created on the bucket list. And they went out and they were doing all of these things that he had written, like these amazing goals, like see something like majestic and these different things. Edward had a lot of money, and so they were able to easily accomplish these things. But Edward helped Carter to realize that what Carter really wanted and what he really wanted out of life was his family. And so before finishing the things on his bucket list, Carter went home to his wife and his family, and he actually passed away shortly after. What do you fear some of your biggest regrets will be before your life is over?
Not providing enough for my family.
Okay, yeah, that is a big concern for a lot of people, I know.
Not being diligent enough in my responsibilities.
It has to do with family for me too. Was I a good enough mother? Did I do the things I should? Did I show enough love? Did I teach enough? Support enough?
Yeah, family's a big concern for a lot of people. All right, well, thank you so much. I know there's actually an Australian nurse, her name is Bronnie Ware, and she worked with people in their last few weeks of living. And she compiled this list of 5 things, the 5 biggest regrets people have when they in their dying weeks. And she found that the first one was actually that I wish I had more courage to be myself. And these people they've kind of hidden their true selves. They've always been what they thought other people wanted them to be. And they regretted that they had never allowed themselves to be who they really were. Another one, especially common in males, was that they had overworked themselves, and that's all they had done was they had worked and they hadn't spent enough time with the people that really mattered, and they just regretted throwing away their lives that way. The third one was that they were fearing to express themselves in the way that they really felt. If they felt strongly about an issue, they just kind of kept it to themselves, and because they didn't want to offend anyone or cause any contention there. But with that fear and fearing to express their real feelings, they actually helped along their illness that led to their death because they just kind of kept up with bitterness inside of them. Another was that they wish they had kept the friendships that they had and hadn't let those go away because they lost a lot of opportunities because they were so caught up in their own lives. And the last one that I personally felt was something that would be my biggest regret if I didn't let myself choose to be happy was I wish I had allowed myself to be more happy in my life because they didn't realize that happiness is actually a choice. Happiness is something that you can choose to have in your life. It doesn't really matter the circumstances that you have. So you can choose. You can choose to make goals and follow through with them and feel that satisfaction in your life. You can choose to have no regrets in your life and make those goals so that you know what you actually want out of life so that you don't fall into the trap of your own biggest regrets. This is my sister Kendra. She created a list of 101 things she wanted to do before she died, her own version of a bucket list. And this is her at the top of Y Mountain for the 100th time. She wanted to go up and hike Y Mountain 100 times before she died. Before she graduated, excuse me. And this is her on her graduation day. on the top of my mountain. She told me later that she felt really proud about this goal, but what really mattered to her was this. This is her and her husband, and that was her real life goal. She wanted to have a family, and they actually just started their own little family because they had their first baby. Her name is Alice, and they're proud parents, and they've started their family, and she's working towards that goal, and that's something that really makes her happy inside. This is Alice Pine. She actually died January of last year. But for the last 5 years of her life, she was battling cancer. She knew for the last 2 years of her life, she only had 2 years left to live. She decided to make a bucket list. And on that bucket list, she had fun things she wanted to do, like she wanted to buy an iPad in her favorite color and go whale watching in Canada and different fun things. But on that list, she wanted to help other people. And she decided that she was going to help people sign up for, she was going to encourage people to sign up for bone marrow transplants. And because of her encouragement, she actually got over 60,000 people to sign up for bone marrow transplants, and at least 30 people's lives have been saved as of June of last year. And I'm sure it's been many more since then because of what she did with her bucket list. She decided that her goal was to do something for other people and make a difference in their life. Her slogan was "One Life, Live It." And that's what I'm here to encourage all of you to do today, is you have one life. Make the most of it. Think about something that makes you happy and use it. Use it to make other people happy. Use it because, as you heard, like these different people in the audience today had their regrets. Like, I wish I could be a good enough mom. I wish that I could provide well enough for my family, and they're afraid of not being able to do this. But you can make a goal and write it down and focus on it. Do something that you can do to help other people. Make your own bucket list, but don't just put the frivolous things. They are fun, but you can do more with your life and do something that will really benefit you in the long run and help you and help other people, and decide that you want to help your family or you want to do different things for other people. And I challenge you all today, each and one of you, to write down your own bucket list and decide all these things you are going to do before you die so you don't have any regrets. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to make goals. And I know that each one of you can do it if you just try. And I encourage you all, write that down. Thank you.